I'm waiting up a little bit because there we go. I'm simultaneously live now. This is actually first time I've done this, but I'm live on the YouTube and I'm live on Facebook. But really, this is this is sort of a quick one. It's real quick actually, and I have to watch the time because the radio show is about to start. Yeah, radio show is about to start shortly here. But I had to address this because I keep seeing it, and the craziest thing about it is when these things come up, it goes straight to my inbox all the time. I know a lot of people all over keep on asking about, well, I heard on Debatable, or I heard here, or Curly said, or this person said, or that person said that these dogs were started with bulldogs. I've done this. What up, Mike? I've done this a million times, and I hate to keep on doing it because it's crazy. And we're going to talk about that on the show tonight. I'll post the link up, and yeah, the time came back up, so I'll be on here for about another 15 minutes probably. But anyway, it's almost a redundant conversation after a while. And one of the reasons why the conversation gets to be so redundant is because you have to ask yourself what's going on, Christian? Very good questions that you would ask in normal life. And this is the one thing I'm gonna tell y'all, and I want y'all to draw these correlations. Hey, how you doing, man? I'm trying to read these things. It's hard, but I see you down there. But the thing of it is this: I've never seen Dave Wilson. I've never seen Oscar Gomez. I've never seen Richard Barajas. Oh man, Danny. I'm just naming off guys. You know what I mean? I've never seen any of the guys from any old school guys just run their mouth and say, you know what? This breed was started with bulldogs. This breed was started with bulldogs. I did this and this and that. Nobody ever said that. If y'all notice the constant people who continuously keep on saying that it was a bunch of bulldog in these dogs are newer people to the game. Some of them may say they've been around forever, and some of them could have been around for a while. But you have not seen, any well-established dog man in this thing turn around and say, "Oh, these dogs are bulldogs." You don't see that. You haven't seen the Marco Suarez say that. You haven't seen any of these guys say that. You haven't seen the gray line people say, "Oh, we mixed all our dogs with bulldogs." Now, that's not to say, and I want y'all to get me clear on this. That's not to say that people haven't done it, because it's obvious that people have done it, but this breed was not started with a bulldog, and some of y'all need to use some common damn sense sometime. Some of y'all need to really use common sense, because this is the thing that I've always said on this topic, and it's like this: if, and I do say if, the dogs were started with bulldogs, why didn't they look like the bulldogs that we see now? Why didn't they look, I even seen it even more where Curly put up that it was an English bulldog. Now, you have to use some damn common sense. So what these people are consistently telling you is that back in the day, we took an English bulldog and ran it to a pit bull, and that's how we came up with American bullies. Now, you have to be very stupid to believe some shit like that. I mean, the common reason is how do you use an English bulldog to a pit bull and come up with Cairo or a Remy? Remy, well over 80-pound dog. Cairo, well over 100-pound dog. And then they tell you this magic shit that we hid all of these dogs. We hid them very well, because all of the bulldogs that we had, we didn't want nobody to know, so we hid them, but we only did the ones that turned out right. And okay, that's a nice theory, even though how far-fetched it is, but you have to think about this. I want y'all to think about this very closely. How did we know what puppies were going to turn out a certain way. Because if you do some research, a lot of the older dogs, there are puppy pictures of these dogs. These dogs were promoted before they became popular. So what these new age people who are doing everything they can to try to, depreciate the value of the true American bully, what they are doing is they are making up these stories to keep on telling you that these dogs were all of these English bulldogs early. English bulldog has a ton of genes. They want you to believe that we picked out 6-week-old puppies and said, no, this is gonna be the clean one, and that one over there with the screwed up tail and stuff, we're gonna kill them now, and then hopefully these turn out and don't end up looking like they bulldog daddy. That's what they want y'all to believe. And it's so crazy that constantly over and over again, this is used, and I'm telling y'all bottom line, it's used as a diversion tactic. I went over this the other day. When they want to talk about there's no dog that's perfect. Of course there's no dog that's perfect, but you're going backwards. We're supposed to be going forward. Stop trying to find one flaw on dogs that lived 10, 12 years ago and pay attention now, because the diversion tactic is very basic. The reason why it's a diversion tactic is one good reason, and one good reason only. The dogs that these people have nowadays are absolute garbage. They've mixed bulldogs in. These dogs have all kind of issues. Feet turned, hey Portia, feet turned every which way. Everything's going on the wrong way with their dogs. So now they want to tell you the dogs have always been like this, when it's obvious, as you've seen, from many pictures, that all of the dogs weren't like that. They'll try to find the worst picture they can, and it's called validation. They want to validate the bullshit that they're doing. They want to validate the fact that they are going directly and mixing English bulldogs in, lying to the general public and hanging papers and doing all these things, and they're hoping that someone else will go along with this. And as y'all seen, my main thing is I do have a line, of course. I've been an edge guy since the start, and I love my edge blood, and I do think that we have to make the edge blood better. The mission was always to take the edge blood and make it better. Not bulldog, but better. But the problem is when they try to attack me or try to attack other people who are speaking up for the breed as far as health and confirmation, the biggest issue becomes, what up, Austin? The biggest issue becomes this. I don't talk about what line you deal with. I could care less about what line you deal with. My thing is, are your dogs healthy? And do your dogs have good structure? So when you see these people who have these so-called beefs with me, or they want to argue or debate with me or whatever, if you ever notice, they never get straight to the point. And the only point I care about is, does your dog fit the standard? Because if you mixed it with a bulldog, it's going to look too much like a bulldog. It's going to have round eyes. It's going to have high rear. It's going to have funny feet. So those things will put it outside of it. It doesn't fit the standard. At the end of the day, though, the argument is never, is our dogs on point? They don't want to argue that. They want to argue everything else. They want to tell you that Dave Wilson had a frog that could be bred to pit bulls, and they want to tell you all these people did all these magical things and all this. And at the end of the day, all those are diversion tactics for some of the mutts that we see today. These are the same people who will defend a dog like Mr. Beans, who can't walk around the ring, who needs ice packs, who has an obvious high rear and obvious other structural flaws. They defend the nonsense, but yet and still you want to try to downgrade a dog like Remy, or you want to talk shit and actually come out your mouth and say a dog like Cairo that was winning in the UKC is a bulldog. It's always an attempt to go away from bad structure and health. It's always some kind of con. It's never an end game to this either. Their end game is lie, 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 lie until you can't lie no fucking more. And that's it. That's why I've gotten a lot of messages lately. Why don't you go on Debatable and get into it with these guys? Or why don't you go on this page? For what? This is the thing. If Muhammad Ali comes up to you and tells you something, God bless his soul. But if a great fighter like Ali or Tyson has something to say about boxing, or a great trainer or a great basketball player is telling you about basketball, you might want to listen to it. But when you have people who haven't proven anything or showed you that they could breed anything or pull out a dog that has good structure, people who tell you, oh, I'm about to show you my yard, then the whole damn tape goes blank. No real truth or anything behind what they do. Why would you argue with that? Why would you listen? If it was somebody who has dogs like Marco Suarez, you know, Marco, I was there from the start. I remember seeing Marco, and he came in the ring, and Marco's been trying to put together good dogs ever since. You know, Dave Wilson has had good dogs over his career. You know, it's been plenty of guys who've had good dogs. Fernando's had good dogs over his career. You know, I mean, there's plenty of guys over at Remy Line had good dogs over the years. If people are showing you good product and a good conformationally sound dog, a dog that can move, a dog that can do everything that they're supposed to do, then there's no need to question what they're talking about too heavy. But when you have a person or individuals, and I'm not just talking about one person, but when you have individuals that all they really can show you is a story about another man's productions or about something that somebody else do, and try to degrade it, even though they have no proof that they have never been there. They can't show you no pictures that, hey, here I was with Cairo, or here I was with this Remy show. They can't tell you no history or nothing like that. How can they tell you everything? How can they know everything if they weren't there? This is why I don't argue with them. It's like arguing. I might as well go argue with Poop. I might as well go argue with my 2-year-old, because it's about the same knowledge. If you weren't there, and if the product that you're producing is less than stellar to the point that nobody knows what you have or what you're doing, that's what you call irrelevant. And the only way that you can stay relevant in this game is by causing controversy. Not controversy based on factual information that needs to be addressed, like, you know, bad hips, dogs that can only live 2 or 3 years, horrible structure, you know, nothing fitting the standard. These are valid issues that we can bring up. Dogs that can't walk, dogs that need ice packs in the ring, dogs that need capes. See, we can talk about that because that's valid. But when you start talking about a dead dog that's been dead for 10 years and trying to make a point so you can get likes and stuff like that, now you lost me. And the worst part about it is some of these guys, I agree with them on certain things, but at the end of the day, it has to get to a point where you make valid points. Nobody wants to talk about something that you can't prove. That doesn't make you a great dog, man. What makes you a great dog, man, is your ability to prove something right now. That's why I'm back breeding, because I'm going to prove it all over again. And I'm going to prove it bigger than I ever been proved it. This time, I'm taking extra time into this shit. This shit is a for real passion. Now I'm at your ass, because the only way a dog man can do something is by bringing dogs to the ring. Yeah, I've got a few. I've done all right, but they don't even matter. Denzel is old. Hallie is gone. So it's time to do this again. And the best thing that we can do in this game is start pushing those people to the side and use the basic, concept of prove it. Prove it. You know, I can go to Atlanta Kennels. They got dogs. You know, I know a lot of these people who got dogs. You might not even like their dogs, but they got dogs. They got something to show you, not just a commentator. At no point in time I never heard of a kid that raised their hand and say, I want to be a critic, when they asked them what they could be. That's failure. Oftentimes the critics become those who are failures. And they want to talk about those who are succeeding. In this dog world, and let me emphasize this, and this is tonight's show, in this dog world, it's only one thing that counts. That is making a quality animal that fits the standard. You should be praised by the amount of time your dog lives. You should be praised about how healthy your dogs are. You should be praised by about the overall consistency of your dogs. There go my brother Danny on the screen too. You know, Hall of Fame, Rhode Island. Mr. Garrett, I see you. But at the same time, though, when you start, we flip-flop this game so bad that the good qualities that a dog man is supposed to have, we don't even vibe with those qualities no more. We don't vibe with them at all. Nowadays, if you bring up the fact that a dog has round eyes and a bunch of bulldog traits that don't fit the standard, you hate him. If you bring up the fact that this dog is unhealthy, or he got a high rear, or his movement is bad, or his temperament is bad, these are obvious things that are going on, but you are hating. We have to get back to shooting for excellence, you know. We have to get back to where we take pride in our dogs being built how they're supposed to be built, move like they're supposed to be moving, living for long periods of time, and just being a good specimen, you know, that we can be proud of and compare our dogs to anybody. Right now, you know, we have let these people turn what we do into a trash community, you know. You have so many dogs that are out here and they're getting handed over ribbons left and right, and y'all see it. The dogs that are winning championships aren't even up to the standard. We have dropped our standards so low that this is the bottom of the barrel when it comes to the dog community. It's the bottom of the barrel. I mean, I challenge that. If anybody has a problem with that, I can show you a lot of champions that super high rears, bad feet. You know, the most respected judges handing out ribbons on dogs that damn near cause riots because people pissed off. Like, why would you pick that bullshit? Don't tell me that we are doing this thing the right way. We're not doing it the right way. Be a pet owner. Because if you can't reach that standard and do what you gotta do to push these dogs to the next level, keep it pushing. Everybody's not a breeder. It take a lot of work to be a breeder. It take a lot of studying to be a breeder. It take a lot of consistency and patience to be a breeder. Sometimes as a breeder, it might take you 3 breedings just to build the dog you want to. But that's why you are an artist. That's why you are an artist. This shit ain't built in a day. You might have to sit down and really draw up a blueprint to say, well, how am I going to take these 7 dogs and make the one dog that I want? And yeah, it might take 5, 6, 7, 8 years. But that's what real dog men do. Not trying to find, what up, Jonathan? Not trying to find the answer for one breeding. Let me find a popular dog and let me breed this. That's not the way it works. Sometimes you win, sometimes you don't. But if you don't even know what you're going to do with that dog next, then you already showed once again that you're not a breeder. You just got 2 dogs fucking. Anybody can do that. Shit, my dogs just did that. I went out there and 2 of my dogs are locked up. Mandela was all up in that thing. He can do that without you. That don't make you a breeder. They can do that on their own. We have to get back to the point to where we really taking this shit seriously. And I do see a split in the community coming, because you got the fun show community, and you got the people who getting pissed off at the fun show community, and they want to see serious dogs and serious shows and serious confirmation. And that's where we're at. Me and my family, I know I can speak for Hall of Fame Midwest, Hall of Fame Rhode Island D-line, and I can even speak for, some of my friends like Oscar Gomez and John Easterly. We serious about our dogs. We trying to make machines that will stand the test of time and that will be proud representatives in any community that you drop our dogs off at. This bullshit that y'all breeding, y'all can't never expect us to respect it, and you damn sure can't expect us to accept it. It won't be accepted, not at our registry. It won't be accepted in my community. I throw a fun show and I don't want to see that shit. Don't you bring them raggedy ass dogs out there dying at our barbecues and shit. Ain't nobody got time for that. And I'm dead serious. It might have sounded funny, but I'm dead serious. Don't bring that shit out there. I'm not bringing no swimming pools. I'm not doing no. If your dog can't stand a little bit of normal ass weather, then don't bring that little rabbit ass dog out there, because ain't nobody killing themselves to cool this dog off. Let nature take its course and let that sorry bastard go to where he need to be, because it's not happening. We all must do better. I see you, Brian Robertson. It's a lot of people who got passion for these dogs, and we gonna make it better. And y'all stay tuned, because we're going to do a lot of things, but I just wanted to address that. The reason why I don't argue with these people is because I feel like it's arguing with kids. None of them knows how this breed started. I'm going to tell you the truth right now. And I'm 20 years into this. Y'all know it's validated. We ain't got to make up no lies and talk a bunch of bullshit. I don't know what every dog was started with. The one thing I can vouch for with a lot of the shit that went on with Razor's Edge, I can tell y'all, wasn't nobody having no bulldogs in their backyard. That's not what we was on. Now, maybe some dogs 10 years before that, if somebody just felt the need to throw a bulldog in there to put it in the UKC ring, long shot, but I don't know shit about it. But y'all tune in to D-Line Radio. I'm going to post these things up, and we're going to have some fun tonight. It was fun to try this. I know my eyes look like it's going both ways because my tablet is like a foot taller than my phone. But, thank y'all, and God bless. I'll talk to y'all soon. Peace. Bang, bang.